I'd like to find the road we roamed together, swinging along, finding the long way home. We didn't mind the time or place or weather, singing a song, finding the long way home. Remember, I used to sigh at the end of each day, dear.
What is happening, house lovers and explorers? Welcome back to another video, and today I am taking you through a beautiful old home that was situated in Myrtle Bank, South Australia, here in Adelaide. Now, this old home I had actually looked at before, but I was not able to complete the full explore as there was many sheds out in the huge back lot of this place. But don't worry, this time around we do get to see in all of these sheds. And also in this video I can add the history and the backstory of this place, which you will see very shortly, as unfortunately the home was demolished in April of 2023. And my first explore actually took place in 2020, soon after an application for demolition was made on it. And as the months turned into years, the old home just sat here waiting for its fate, slowly falling apart as plans were being approved for the redevelopment. Now, as the video progresses, I will add some footage of several follow-up visits I had during the final stages of the home's existence, including the demolition process and also some comparison pics as well. But first, let's take a look at the early history of the home and its owners. So let's wind the clock back to 1907, when Mr. John Frederick Martin and his wife Frances Ann purchased 15 acres of land along Ferguson Avenue, which at this time was actually a private road which led to the old homestead of William Ferguson. William Ferguson purchased this land in 1848 and he named it Myrtle Bank, which we know today. John and Frances Ann were known as Fred and Fanny, and they built their new home a year later in 1908. Fred's name appears in the directories as the first resident on the south frontage of Ferguson Avenue a year later in 1909, with the occupation of a jeweller. Fred and Fanny were married in 1891 and had both their children Muriel and Kenneth prior to moving to Myrtle Bank. They lived most of their married lives here, and unfortunately they lost their daughter Muriel, the eldest of the two children, who passed away at just 25 years of age in 1918. As the First World War came to an end a year later, it seems Fred started selling off more portions of his 15 acres of land, and this enabled the very distinctive 1920s bungalows to be built around in the nearby streets. And by 1935, Fred's home had been given the number of 69, which later became 89. And in this aerial survey image, it shows the once vacant land, now full of homes and streets. Fred's original 15 acres would have been comparable to this outlined area shown here. Now this photo right here, guys, to me is the best one, as it shows 3 generations of the Martins at the base of the veranda steps. And we can still see those steps here in these later photos that I took. And that photo was taken circa 1941. Another photo from around that time show Fred and Fanny in the garden. And they both lived on here until the late 40s, where Fanny passed away in 1947 at the age of 83. And then Fred only 2 years later, in 1949, aged 86. Son Kenneth, who had become a carpenter and joiner, inherited the old home and he sold it a year later to Sidney Graham Curnow. Fred's grandson David went on to earn his PhD at the nearby University of Waite campus in biology and ecology. So, as far as the Martin chapter, it was now over regarding the ownership of the home, with the torch being passed in 1950 to the new owners Sidney Graham Curnow and his wife Mara, in which they owned the home for even longer, as my research indicates that the title was at least in their name up until 2001, and most likely kept in the family up until it was sold in 2020. And the reason I say this is because nothing was altered or renovated in the home from 2001 to 2020, which I think would be very rare if a new owner were to take over and was living there. It seems as though Sidney and Mara made some changes in the early 50s. As you will see, I find some old newspapers pulled up from under the lino and the carpet. But from that time, nothing had been upgraded at all, it seems, which makes this place one of my favourites. Sidney's occupation was a nurseryman, which explains a lot of the sheds and extensive gardens that were evident, along with items that have been left there for decades. Sidney passed away in 2017, aged 98. It is unknown when Mara passed away, but most likely before Sidney. They had one child, and they likely sold the property in 2020 and moved on after Sidney's death. Alright, well that pretty much does it for a backstory of ownership. Two long-time and proud owners of this old Edwardian era villa. I will add a bit more commentary here and there as we go, just to point out and clarify a few things along the way. Alright, let's get into it and have a look at this huge property. Hope you all enjoy. Alright guys and girls, you have probably heard the intro. So we are back at this beautiful old home, and the application for demolition has finally been approved. I think over 2 years later from when it was actually first put in. So we're here to re-document it in its current condition. I did walk through yesterday. A few things have changed. A couple of things have been taken. Wouldn't quite call it a full-blown salvage process yet, but some things have been taken. I have taken plenty of photos of the front, as you may have seen. So let's go. We'll take another look. Built 1908 by John Frederick Martin and his wife Frances. They were known as Fred and Fanny. They did frost out that window with some spray paint too. That wasn't like that originally. And the power box has only just been removed, not even a month ago. And that's when I saw the demolition application approved, maybe a couple of weeks ago. And obviously the old girl is suffering from the usual cracks of a 100+ year old home. But there's so much you could do with this parcel of land without knocking the home over. The old retro. So cool. Here's the old loo. And the home is far from what it would have looked like in its original state, including the carpeted floor. But this home, it's still one of my favourites. Now the kitchen pretty much has been left as it was. I mean, look at the retro and the old Sagasco oven. Now what has been taken was the separate grill top part that was on there. Just noticed there's no glass in the cupboards. I'm not sure if that was air. I will do some comparisons and add some still shots as we're walking around, guys. Yeah. One thing I did notice, guys, is the door trims. Now, I noticed this in photos, looking back at photos as well, that the door trims have the classic bungalow trims that start narrow and taper wider as you get lower. And also the angled cut there. Now, I was always under the impression that only came in with the bungalows. But it is an arts and crafts feature, so if that's original, there's proof that it was being used in 1908, which was during the arts and crafts period. But when the Californian bungalows came in, and I live in one, it's got these door trims. Well, the one I rent, it's not a full-blown Californian bungalow, but it is of the same era. That's a typical Victorian era, late Victorian era fireplace. Now, I don't recall all these chairs. There's a lot of chairs in the other rooms at the front. I don't recall them being here originally either. But the door handles, they're classic Edwardian Federation, and the doors. Yeah, there's some pretty significant cracks there. It's got a pleasant old vibe, this home. See, there's chairs in here. Beautiful hardwood around that fireplace. Yeah, so this one's still here, but there's a beautiful one that's been removed in the next room. But that is vintage Edwardian Federation. Same period here in Australia. That's been removed, or I think that may have been a light or a fan there from memory. Yeah, definitely the original window trim, so learn something every time, or pick up something subtle every time film these places. People walking up the footpath. See, look at that, that's just the old original. They're the brass ones. Now, I don't know if that is original, but I think I've mentioned the amber glass in the first one. I don't know if that's original either. I'd say there would have been lead light in there. Definitely feel that there would have been stained glass lead light in there. We'll quickly go in this room. See these chairs? A nice hat stand there, hat and coats. Yeah, and they haven't got the mantle, the surround, but they took the fire cover. But I'll throw in a photo for that now. It was a beautiful fireplace. That's the other side of that crack that's in the hallway. I've seen far worse, guys. The return veranda in the garden out there. So we've got this little dining room off the kitchen. And that has also had the little Art Deco fireplace cover. Well, there was actually a little heater in there, gas heater. That's gone too. But definitely a little dining room. So that's it for the inside, and nothing too much has changed, but you can tell they are starting to think, well, let's take a few things now before the real demolition and salvage process starts. So, we will take another stroll out in the yard, guys. And we'll come back this way. I think I only got a still shot looking into this carport, and that was it. But this thing seems to go way back there, guys. Ooh. What's that? That's for wool. It's a wool bale thing. Alright, so definitely a carport, but Ken, if you're watching, I think you might enjoy this one, this part. Okay, well, there's a lot of crates, wooden crates. Turn the light on as well. What do they say? Love it. It's upside down, that one. A&R Singh. Love it. Wow, there's heaps of them, guys. That one's got a different name on it. Oh, there's a couple of videos. Jimmy Swaggart. That's the old preacher, the old Sunday Night with Jimmy Swaggart. Oh, that is a good night's. I don't know, I do remember him being on TV when I was a kid. 1996. That definitely is a big shed there. The red corrugated iron. So those crates are all empty, so we'll keep moving. What's that?
there's a fig tree, guys. It's like a little dolly trailer or something. Old rusty one. And an old clawfoot tub. Well, it doesn't actually have claw feet, but it's of the same vintage. A whole heap of scrap metal in here too. I wonder if there's any figs. Fig tree in my backyard is currently pumping out a lot of figs that I'm giving away, making use of them. Well, the birds are eating them as well, but there's plenty. Ooh, here we go. Yeah, that's just all accumulated scrap, I'd say. There's glass panes there as well. What's in here? Oh yeah, there's a few. There's an old fridge over there. Let's check it out. Oh, it goes way back there as well. As I said, this lot is absolutely huge, you guys. Gee, that's seen better days. Oh, that's plastic. Oh, damn. There's a huntsman, guys, right on there. Caught him out of the corner of my eye. I think we just sneaked past here. How are we going to get in here? Oh yeah, around there. Well, looks to be a few more interesting things in here. Sneak past Mr. Huntsman. Very low roof. Yeah, it's alright, I think he's settled in there. Can't really tell if anyone's kind of ratted through here, but it's definitely messy. Cool shelves there. Let's have a look. A few more crates there. Foam ones. Polystyrene. Oh, there's an old tape measure. Cool. It's falling apart though. What's that? Invicta razor. It's got no razor though. It's like the razor cover. That looks pretty old. Man, it's warm in here. What do we got here? Some old cassettes. More Jimmy Swaggart. Jimmy Swaggart greatest hits. Wow. Packets of seeds, roses and stuff, begonias. Nice cool shelves. There's all different names on there. They look like flower names. So maybe that's where all the seeds were kept or something, I'm not sure. old strainer, sieve. Ooh, there is a newspaper here. Film of JFK. Oh, it's from November 2000. It looked older than that. And when I saw JFK, I thought, man, that could be from the 1961 or something, from the 60s. That's an old wardrobe without the doors. That looks like an old prospector's, you know, your fossick for gold. Yeah, there you go. Same with that one. That one's a bit more fine. There's an old sink there. Makeshift one. It does have a tap though. Yeah, there's another paper there, but it's probably around the same era, I think, 2000. What do we got? Westinghouse. Oh, retro fan. Retro fan. The Frost. Old Frost, I don't know if it's broken or got cobwebs on it. It's kind of bent backwards. There you go. Probably still be okay if it probably missing a nut or something. All right, what's here? Steel brackets, a shoe along with my shoes. There's more shoes there actually. Just an accumulation of shed stuff, I think. Nothing really jumping out yet. I don't know what that is. It's an old sewing machine pedal. Yeah, something like that. Can't see it, hang on. Okay. Mailbox. Oh, there's two fridges, hang on. Rusting and what's this one? Oh, I'll try and step over a bit further. Oops. What do we got? Kelvinator. Oh yeah, it says it there as well. Cool. What's in there? It's like string on a roll. Oh man, it's warm in here now. And I think whatever was valuable, if anything, is long gone. That is the cover to an old TV. Sorry, the casing. Now there's another newspaper down there. What do we got? Looks to be a little bit older. Oh, I've got to watch spiders running out of those things all the time. Of course, I can't see the date. I'm thinking this is 80s, definitely, by the cars being sold. Oh, look at that, guys. 1984, May. The Renault Fugo GTX. Now only 16 grand. What else was happening? Lego World Show Exhibition. John Martin's. Oh, John Martin. How ironic's that? See, that was a big retail store chain here in South Australia. And how ironic that this home was built by John Martin, John Frederick Martin. What's your home worth now? There's a couple of old villas. B.W. Carey. Oh look. Oh. Sold. One of those villas was sold for $19,000 in 1970. And then again it was sold for $99,000 in 1984. I think they're trying to get people to sell up there. Typical. Probably developers. Alright guys, there's a fluoro light. We will keep moving through that way, but I'm going to get a few still shots while I'm here. He's alright. Sneak past again. Oh, there we go. Alright, what have we got down here? More old sheets of iron. Oh, maybe there was a bit of beekeeping going on as well. No, it just looks like storage of glass panels. Although there are bees in that tree pollinating. Another shed there, guys. Just go down here first. I think that's the one I pointed the camera in when we were around the other side. Another shed there, man. And what's this? Oh my goodness, this is a oh, it's a generator, is it? Oh, check it out. Oh, that is the old I don't want to name it incorrectly, but what does it say? It's an Ensign. Ensign. I'll see if I'm going to collect any spider webs first. I'll step down. See if we can figure out what it is. In an ensign. Look, you may have already identified it, guys. I'm just trying to me it looks like a... Oh, it's got a temperature gauge. And it's got power hooked up to it. Well, my initial instincts was it was a generator. Alright, well, I'm getting some photos of this.
Well, I have done some research to find out what this contraption actually is, and it seems to be an old oil burner furnace or a water heater. The small plastic box was my clue to find out more, as this is actually an oil burner safety control, and it's fitted to the oil burner which is attached to the furnace. As I was going into the research, I initially thought that this contraption was a water pump over a well, as Sidney Graham Curnow was a nurseryman by trade. But given that this is found way out in the back here in the garden area, it surely must have been used for his greenhouses and gardens in some way. And there are many other things in the sheds and also concrete remnants that you will see shortly that show that Sidney must have had a very impressive nursery setup here. But as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments about this. Alright, let's keep moving.
There you go. Pretty cool. This backyard just keeps giving and giving. Yeah, there's like an exhaust chimney stack there. Dog barking now. Yeah, there's definitely more sheds right there and behind those branches, but what's this, guys? I have no idea what this is, guys. But it kind of is attached to where that generator is. Now we'll go back and have a look in the sheds. Whatever it was, it's hasn't been used for a long time. It might be just a retaining wall because there's more there. Might have been just a walkway in between all the gardens, guys. There's some sunshade cloth. Have a look through there. Just another part of the garden, guys. And that's an incinerator. Because it's so sunny today, guys, the shadows aren't doing a whole lot of favours. See, we haven't been in these ones yet. Or this one. I don't even know if you can get in there. Well, that's where the door was. Is. Oops. Oh man. There's just no... That's the door there. But there's a tree. I can see in through there. There's a whole heap of pot plants, empty pot plants. Oh, actually, there's a door around the other side. And what have we got in here? More pot plants. Pot plant pots, I should say. There isn't like another workbench with a vice on it up the end there. Again, this is no, that's not a door. Maybe there's a door around the other side. And there is a tree that's fallen over through there, so we'll go back around this way. What a maze. Oh, here we go. We'll just we'll have a look through here. There's an old ladder, more empty wooden crates. Yeah, over that far side there through the gap is where I stuck the camera through initially. And there's one old medicine bottle. Ouch. I don't know what is in that cupboard. I'm just leaning the camera around. There's a little tin cup or something. Couple of cups or something. Alright. Keep going. Oh yeah, there's a door there. Damn, it's warm in here. Very, very low ceiling, but we got to have a snoop around. There's some old bottles. And an old saw. Oh, and an old cigarette tin. Unfortunately, pretty badly rusted. It's a Benson and Hedges cigarette one. And yes, typically used to sit screws in. Oh my goodness, it's warm. Wow, yeah, there's all the pots. They're not terracotta ones, they're just plastic ones. It's filled up with water, that thing with the bottles. Oh man. Get that cobweb out of the way. There's an old bottle. I think it says Comet on it. There's the vice. Oh man. It is like an oven in here. There's not much in these old things, not that I can see anyway. An axe head. Another funny old bottle. Alright, well I'm going to get a few photos and then we'll continue. Alright, well definitely a bit of breeze outside that shed, but this is that tree I was saying that fell over. There's the old home back there. Look, I could probably force my way through there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go back this way. This is such a sanctuary. Right. Yeah, that was there last time. Just gathering dust, these old things. It's a nice club sofa chair. It's a pretty old one actually. Oh, that's a cabinet for a sewing machine. Is it still in there? Nope. And this goes up the side of the house. Well guys, I just thought I'd do another follow-up video. The old girl is now in full swing salvage process. As you can see, all those chairs that were inside, dumped. There's an old door there. Don't know if they're going to take them, but it doesn't look like it. Skirting boards. They've ripped all the carpets up. But the floor is still intact, but I would say that's going to be taken up in the next few days. But all this wildlife, all these trees, I will take a quick walk out the back again. It'll all be gone. So much history. It's kind of really sunk in now that this place is going to be demolished. There you go, there's the beautiful mantles. They'll be coming back for those. One good thing is they'll be repurposed. Well, that was what the old flooring was. A good polish, and that is beautiful. Dark wood. Now one cool thing I did find is old newspapers that were underneath the carpet. Yeah, they've removed a bit there. They've removed all the storage space, the cupboards that were put into the corners as well. It's all been dumped out the back. Now hopefully they remove that as well, because that is beautiful. There was one in the other room too which had to been removed already, but they've cracked the tiles on the front there. Yeah, I first saw some snippets here, but a whole bunch of newspapers have been dumped in the kitchen. Would have been from all under these rooms here. And so far I can only see early 50s dates. Early 1950s. See, all down there. And there's some out in the back porch as well. But I have saved plenty of old pages of newspapers, so I might save these ones as well, or some that are in decent condition. Always love looking through them to see what the old advertisements say. But yeah, the old stove's gone. I really would like to know if they're going to save those retro cabinets, kitchen cabinets. I guess we'll see. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of cupboard spaces. A few more there I picked up off the ground. 50s, 1954 again. Another one of the original doors on the ground there. Don't know if they're going to save it or not, but all these trees. Such an oasis in this property.
Well, guys and gals, as the video is already an hour long, I'm going to wrap it up here and close out with this sequence to say goodbye to the old girl, who was the pride and joy of both the Martin family and the Curnow family for 115 years. Rest in peace, grand old lady. Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, I will move on to another location and I'll see you all in the next video. Alright guys, cheers, bye.